What if I told you the secret to an extraordinary life is hidden in the most boring moment of your day? Not in a temple on a mountaintop, not in a life-changing epiphany, but right here, in this breath, in the toothbrush in your hand, in the key turning in the lock. We've been taught to chase the spectacular, and in doing so, we've missed a quiet truth. The ordinary is not the opposite of the sacred. It is the doorway. Today, we learn the one simple shift in seeing that dissolves the illusion of separation and reveals the divine hiding in plain sight. This is not about changing your life. It's about finally arriving in it. Welcome to a visual meditation on finding the extraordinary in the everyday. The human mind is a sorting machine. It catalogs, labels, and predicts. It calls this morning, that commute, this coffee, and moves on. Mystics call this the first veil. The veil is not evil, it is useful. It helps you survive. But it also traps you inside a grid of names where the miraculous becomes background noise. A hand touching a doorknob is not merely skin against metal. It is temperature, pressure, and ancient atoms dancing in silent choreography. Yet the mind says only, door, open, and the sacred disappears into habit. But sometimes, between thoughts, between breaths, the veil shivers. Perhaps you are washing dishes, and suddenly the sound of water is not sound, but music without a composer. Perhaps a bird crosses the sky, and for a fraction of a second, you forget your name. Mystics call this the sacred silence. It is not the absence of noise, but the presence of something larger than noise. It is the pause between two heartbeats where the universe peers back at you. In that pause, you are not a person doing dishes. You are the dish, the water, the bird, the sky. The ordinary splits open like a seed, revealing infinity. The shift is not a technique, it is an attention. Instead of seeking bigger, brighter experiences, turn toward the smallest. Feel the breath enter your nostrils as if it were the first breath ever taken. Notice the weight of a spoon resting in your palm, as if the spoon were a message from the stars. This is not imagination, it is remembering. Remembering that every atom is ancient stardust. Remembering that you are not separate from what you touch. This is intentional living, but deeper than intention. It is living as if each mundane moment is a portal to divine union, because it is. What happens when you practice this shift? The ego, your cherished story of me, begins to soften. In the grocery aisle, you are no longer a shopper racing through a list. You are color and light. You are color and light. You are oranges breathing out citrus fragrance. You are the quiet hum of refrigeration. This is not losing yourself. It is finding the self that was never separate. Mysticism calls it ego death, but it feels more like ego dissolving, like salt melting into an ocean it never left. Soon, silence follows you even in noise. You begin to hear it in a child's laughter, in the low roar of traffic, in the turning of a key. This silence is not emptiness. It is fullness without edges. It is the hum of oneness vibrating through every mundane thing. The shift is not about escaping life. It is about awakening to life's true texture. The toothbrush, the coffee cup, the key in your hand, each is an altar, each a sermon in the language of atoms. The extraordinary is not hiding in mountaintops or temples. It hides in the spaces you overlook, the pause before a breath, the silence between two thoughts, the instant before you name what you see. The simple shift is to notice, to lean into that sacred pause until the ordinary reveals its true nature, infinite, shimmering, divine. Today, when you finish this talk, do not chase a grand epiphany. Instead, pick one ordinary act: washing your hands, tying your shoes, sipping water. Pause. Breathe. Listen for the silence inside the moment. Let that silence speak. It will tell you a mind-blowing truth. The extraordinary has been with you all along, waiting for your attention to become love.